replica the strategy map that I was trying to play off of.
Yeah, I took a look at it, but I didn't examine it super close. At least not to a...
Yeah, of course. Give me a sec.
Cool. No problem.
And then everyone on YouTube is just going to be looking at the game and just like Gorse's ship and not the map, which I guess is probably for the better, to be fair, because
can't you like unlock
I'm sure
the
you can
camera?
put it in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it later, maybe.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be too lazy. I might send it to Cadoza to put it in there for me. And I have a better idea. I'm going to put this up on my fucking phone.
There you go. Should be on the way.
Thank you. I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you can see, we're all setting up, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our initial setup was okay. It was literally our first game of the night and the first game with this strategy. So, I mean, anytime we hit what we're supposed to be doing is good. But yeah.
Yeah. Even.
And of course, we come up, we see you guys, and it's just like shit. Or oops.
Right. No, you're fine. So I guess the big thing, like, so far, I mean, there's not much to talk about, but you're not sending a radar to the contest cap except for Gdansk, which is a little dangerous.
Petro position on that middle island actually covers it.
Oh,
yeah, that's exactly why that's for.
First.
Okay, I was looking at that. I didn't know if the Petro would have range on that, but I guess it looks like it could.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we put it there because it pretty much controls the entire northern half of A.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, the difficult part is like mostly just getting it there.
It's surprisingly not that difficult because most people won't go into the middle with their battleship, kind of like we have.
Yeah.
Spot
a Moskva.
Yeah, spot legend.
So you have Condé on your little map. You have your super ship going to the B2 island. You have Double DD on A. Petro.
Yeah, the B2 island is ambitious. I'll say that for sure.
It's taking a super wide route, but it looks like it's taking a shitty spawn, at least on your map.
It was like a middle of the road spawn when we were doing it in the what's it called, in our first review of it.
I don't have a separate strat if we spawn bad, which might be something to build up.
I only just recently made one for that, because that's actually what we do in this game. Because we didn't get a good spawn, we didn't know what you guys were doing.
I was able to look at your.
We're just gonna try.
I was able to look at your map. It worked out for you guys quite well. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, mainly it came down to the Moskva just being free, kind of.
I think Duke was following my Napoli position. Like
I see.
That's basically like looking down at the mini map on that. He's just free open water, broadside to any approach.
Yeah.
Right. Also, you're having Double DD over here on A, but you don't have a whole lot of like other ships over here that can take advantage of the spotting that Double DD gives you. So that's also
true. Petro is very much helps with that, and our battleship is guns north too. Not that I'm expecting them to deal with a destroyer,
right?
But battleship is very much to protect Petro, and Petro is very much to protect anyone else.
One thing is,
go ahead, Doza.
Having the Double DD is really powerful, but it seems like
we're not using it.
You're just not using it, like you can
can
use it for a DD gank, which at this point you didn't have. So at this point you could just kind of cap, but it seems like you're just avoiding the cap. And the Moskva is a legitimate concern, but the main thing is just back into the cap, bait the radar. What you're gonna deal with a Gdansk? Like, oh no,
Yeah,
it's kind of an open cap from how I see it.
And this Moskva is going to end up like backing up around the island, so you could take your Double DD, double cap, A really fast, and then you can, like we talked about in the last one, you can either take your Lushun and just rush that Moskva, and then take your full health Gdansk and Piemonte and just walk at our home cap. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of what I was thinking at that point. I was trying to manage, because I'm the caller, of course, and calling it a DD is always fun.
Oh, yeah, that's another big thing.
It is better now than it used to be, at least.
It's much better, yeah. But the big thing is I was trying to manage the crisis down south as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But, we actually kind of have like an implemented double caller thing where
you got your side caller,
deputize like someone on the other flank. That's really helpful for us.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, you see like Kremlin's coming down around the island, which normally our Vermont would be trying to, in position to stop, assuming our Moskva is still alive and on an island. But
right.
Yeah, your Moskva just kind of like donated. We're not gonna.
Yeah,
we're not gonna talk
about that. We talked about it. Yeah,
we've talked about that enough. But I think for this particular map, with the Gdansk and the Marceau, you honestly would be better off splitting those.
Well, not shoving and then splitting, but yeah.
Like not even in this particular game, but just like let's just assume that Lushun is a Marceau, like you want in your comp, right? Instead of having double DD, which granted both are very good DD fighters, Gdansk obviously has the smoke and radar gimmick, and Marceau is a Marceau. Yeah. Those two together are really not really good as a gang squad because the Gdansk radar is so short, and both of them have really high concealment for a DD. So you're really not going to be getting much in the way of a gang squad out unless you have like another radar like a Moskva or a Petra or Nevsky or some other form of spotting for them, which in that case that's also a disadvantage because you have double DD that can't really spot.
You're not wrong. In my defense, whenever we get that radar on a destroyer, I'd say more than half the time that destroyer starts opening up. We're not in the same. We're not generally in the same matchmaking levels as you guys are, so we see a little bit different levels of play. And that happens a lot. Like they get radared and then I'm going to open fire.
Yeah,
something
like
I just thought of is you could have rammed the Kremlin for the Petra for the Kremlin. That's a possibility.
I mean, a reverse ram.
No. He would just back around and then come around from behind, force the Kremlin out.
Fair.
And then the Vermont would have easy shots if the Kremlin tried to do anything.
I mean, I was trying to get Doc moving at that point too.
Of course, yeah. It's just a matter of like noticing that because this is the third time I've seen this game because I played it, reviewed it, now I'm reviewing it again. Yeah. Just now did I realize, if the Petra repositioned, he could have rammed out the Kremlin.
Yeah. So, a lot of times, our previous strat also had Petra on that island, so a lot of times we throw it almost like directly north just because there's no one in the middle.
Right.
And it can come up behind someone or just trap everyone there. But it's not always what happens. And
I'd say it's very unorthodox, the play that I made, so it's not like you can necessarily expect it. Like, that was pretty oddball even for me. But
I mean, we saw it the whole way in, too, and it's... It is what it is, yeah.
Unlucky.
Yeah. I think choosing your engagements, figuring out, what's going on, and just... I don't know. The big thing is, just choosing your engagements and figuring out when to move, when to change, when to adapt.
Yeah, those were our conclusions too. Like, we need to play our DDs together for the first bit and then separate them to play as needed and just be more decisive, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Like, this is, like, looking at your strat map, not this particular game. I honestly think you might be better off just splitting your DDs just right from the start. Yeah, because like we talked about earlier, Gdansk and Marceau, as strong as these ships are individually, together they are still strong, but they're not a particularly effective DD gank, which is the main reason you would be running a double DD next to each other, like a Smoland and a Marceau, or a Ledge Mod Kleber and a Marceau, or a Ledge Kleb and a Gdansk, or something like that.
Yeah.
You're not really getting that level of benefit out of a Gdansk and a Marceau combination. So if you're going to be running these two particular ships, you're probably going to be best off splitting them, because the benefit that they have together is not really as high as a lot of people would think it would be. And like we talked about in the last one, if you had a DD over on your home cap that could spot that push early, like if that Moskva was, say, a Marceau, it would, not have died as easily. Like, even if it gets spotted, it's a Marceau, it has French saturation, and it goes 55 knots. So it's going to be a lot harder to kill, and if it gets spotted at all to begin with. And you would have seen our push a lot earlier, and then you could go from there.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you guys had vision on Duke very early.
Yeah, he got spotted by our Marceau, like
just
literally.
Out of our cap,
I think literally he was the very first ship that was spotted in the entire game.
That's not a surprise, really.
I think the best thing you could have done is not focus on if this ship was a different ship, or if this ship was a different place. The Moskva dying first sucks, but if you can adapt to that, you do immediate rotations. Like, we had a game where I was in Kremlin and we see a singular ship. I'm like, okay, I'm rotating to the other flank. I just made the call on the fly because it was such an aggressive position.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the ship, it's how it's positioned, it's where it's going, that sort of thing, yeah. Which is kind of like in this game, I think we see your Petro first on the south, and at that point I immediately know, well, we're screwed down there.
Yeah. No. As well as in this particular game, your DD health, I think, could have we talked about this in the last one as well. Your DD health,
play.
And just for like I keep saying, for this particular game, you could have taken your Lashun, rushed that Moskva with it. Even if it dies, so what? Because you now have a full health Gdansk and a Piemonte to walk at our home cap with, and the only thing that's going to stand in your way is Gdansk.
Yeah.
And what's that thing going to do against a Gdansk with a Piemonte behind it?
Pretty much nothing.
Yeah, so...
Well, you'd probably rotate behind us and get A, honestly.
Honestly, we would probably end up just having me kite all the way to the home cap and just keep you spotted. That's really the best I could do. Because depending on the route you take, you could prevent that sort of play, because you have to remember Gdansk does have really high concealment for a DD.
7-2? 7-3?
7-3.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could get around, but yeah, I mean, spotting us is probably just as important.
Yeah, like if you leave like enough gap for me there, it would be it's a possibility. Like if I was like a Kleber that could go 55 knots, or or like a Yu Yang that has 5-8 conceal, or a Smoland, which I don't even have because I'm a pleb, but that has like 6-1 conceal, something like that, that has a lot more room to make a play like that. That would be something to consider, but in a Gdansk, I honestly probably would never even attempt to go for a back cap without going literally through the middle and back around. In which case I would be with the rest of my team anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with the new ship restrictions that came out like literally an hour ago.
Yeah, like a couple of hours ago. But
I think we're gonna stay with the Marceau Gdansk, but I'm much more happy to split them up.
And like obviously, like if you do have a specific map, where you want to have them, like on Warrior's Path, it's a fairly common thing to have a French DD dive A. So you could try and have like your Marceau and Gdansk.
I really don't like putting destroyers directly on islands like that. Just it feels so limiting to them.
Yeah, like it's the main thing is just getting the early cap and putting an early lead on
Just being able to
your
hold
own
it.
team and just being able to
Yeah.
hold it. Even if you don't hold it, it buys time because as long as you have that A or that contested cap and you're ticking it, that's putting pressure on the enemy team to do something about it. Either they have to make their play earlier because they don't have the time to wait longer for like an optimal opening, or you just win the game because they just don't do anything about it.
Yeah. I think currently all my strats have the DDs playing the cap together, at least at the start. Sleeping Giant for sure. Riposte, I think I want to split them up again.
I have seen Gdansk and Ledge combinations.
Ledge Club is also very, very powerful, but it's hard to pull off.
Yeah. It's high skill floor. High risk, high reward, I think we call it.
Yeah, it's like it's very valuable when it does its thing, but it's also like really hard on the player to do it because Ledge Kleber does have like an 11-second reload. So like you literally get outgunned by fucking
Everything.
Shimas.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a bit of a risk reward thing, but the reward is very, very high for it. And the main thing is the Ledge Kleb gives you a stealthy DD to make plays with. It can rush things because it
Very
has
fast
Kleber
DD too,
torpedoes. It's very, very fast. It has 6-2 conceal on a ship that goes 55 knots, which is very strong. And it can provide spotting for the Gdansk, and the Gdansk is going to be your main DD ganker. The Ledge Kleb is only there to spot for the Gdansk because Ledge Kleb is very hard to kill.
Yeah, I mean, running solo, would you rather have a Småland or a Gdansk?
For like a 1 DD comp?
Like on just one side, basically.
Like, if the DD is going to be by itself, absolutely let it be a Småland. If you
that's what I figured.
if you know it's going to be by itself more often than not, but Gdansk can also do just fine. There's pros and cons to both. Obviously, the con to Gdansk is its concealment, and
It does
it's
have
short,
smoke, though.
and it's short radar. But at the same time, you get permanent reload booster Kleber guns with smoke and a short radar. So, and on the opposite end, you have Småland, which has a heal and DPM, but it has no smoke to speak of, and it's relatively slow as far as destroyers go.
Yeah, I mean, you get in that fight, you pop your speed boost, and then you're done your fight.
Yeah. I mean, it does have the speed boost, but, like, more often than not, like, it's not going to be using it. So it's...
Well, no, you use the speed boost for the acceleration it gives you.
Yeah. But, like I said, there's pros and cons to both, so it's really just down to how you're going to be using it. Because if you're using the destroyer as like a more defensive style, like if it's going to be on a kite side and it's only there to stall for as long as possible, a Gdansk would be a much better option than a Småland, because it's a lot harder to push into a Gdansk because of the smoke and radar.
You have reload radar, like less than a minute, which is huge.
Yeah. And then you have, obviously, the Kleber guns with a permanent reload booster and the smoke. But on the flip side, if you're taking a much more aggressive position with the destroyer on, like, a push side, then you'll probably want a Småland mainly for the concealment that it has.
Yeah, just able to get in closer and more effective for the guns at that point.
And it's a lot easier to contest caps with a ship that has much lower detection.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, with the new ship restrictions, I gotta switch up the maps anyhow. So, I mean, this is all valuable stuff for me.
Yeah, this is Doza hasn't said shit for the past 5 minutes. You have anything?
I've just been chilling. I've just been listening. No, it all sounds good. It's pretty much the same. Just adapt, overcome, utilize your ships in a more efficient manner, and don't be afraid to make plays. That's really all I have to say.
Yeah, and
fair.
Nah, I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
And of course, if you ever have anything, you can always message me or Zeka anytime. We'll try to respond when we can. But yeah, we're here to help.
Yeah,
And
I know you have access to the GLHF
I do.
channel. I don't know if Zeka does, but feel free to.
I don't think I do.
Put anything you want on those.
I don't think I do. I'd have to double check, but yeah.
Fair.
Anyway,
I know you got some weird
we'll see
access
it.
to us.